Hey, this is Side and coach of the Sydney Six, bringing you the Week 3 battle for the MBL Season 2. This week we'll be facing the Dewford Dream Eaters, who is coached by Undead. Last week we didn't have a match. Unfortunately, my opponent had to forfeit due to personal reasons, so for Week 2 we were awarded the win, making us 1 win, 1 loss for the season. Hopefully this week we can make that 2 wins by hopefully winning or earning our first win for the season against Undead. Before we get to the match, before we even get to what I brought and what Pokemon my opponents have, there's been a small change to my team. So I have dropped Frost Seed and have picked up Raichu. Now, if you remember from my draft breakdown video, I wanted to draft Raichu. Unfortunately, on the round I was going to, someone before me picked it up, drafted Raichu, and so I had to draft Alolan Persian in its stead. However, that person has now dropped Raichu from his team, so I decided instead of dropping Alolan Persian, I'm dropping Frost Seed and picking Raichu up. The reason I did that is because I think, even though I haven't brought it yet, Alolan Persian brings a lot to the team. It is a very defensive Pokemon, and the only reason I drafted Frost Seed was because I wanted a hazard setter that was not Golurk and was not weak to ice. Frost Seed is not even Frost Seed doesn't resist ice, but it's not weak to it. And it honestly, that is the only reason I drafted, and I feel like with Raichu and Alolan Persian, at least there's more. It can bring more to my team than having Frost Seed and Raichu. It does mean that Golurk is my only hazard setter, so there is more pressure for Golurk to set up hazards. My opponents know that if I'm going to be setting hazards, which Pokemon's going to be doing it. So that's going to make it more difficult. However, I think I should be able to work with this team and still have Golurk be able to set up hazards. Now let's check out my opponent's team. On the right, you can see my opponent has a very bulky team. You can see that he has G-Max Alcremie, Galarian Corsola, Pukumuku, Sylveon. Those Pokemons are incredibly bulky, hard to take down. Lapras and Gabora are also pretty bulky, so he's got a team that is going to be hard to clean up on. And on top of that, he has some very strong offensive threats. He has Durant with its hustle ability can take down a lot of Pokemons. Center Scorch with Fire Lash. Even a Choice Scarf. Cramorant with its Gold Missile ability means that he can guarantee huge damage, if not an OHKO, on at least one Pokemon. And even with Mimikyu, he has a guaranteed Sword Dance and can easily just take down any Pokemon if it can be done safely. And on top of that, Sylveon Alcremie, with 1 or 2 Calm Minds, those two can tear through any team, let alone just my team. So I have to be wary about those Pokemons. But overall, I think my team has a fairly good matchup. I don't necessarily think I can knock out all his Pokemons, whatever 6 Pokemons he brings. But I think I have the tools to at least break all of them. So hopefully, with that 20-minute timer, it's going to be a bit annoying. I won't be able to break all of it, but hey, I think I have the advantage here. So for my first Pokemon, I brought a Libero Cinderace with Expert Belt. Um, it has Pyro Ball, so it can hit Durant for super effective. Iron Head to hit all his fairy types for super effective. U-turn to gain momentum. Taunt to ensure that Galarian Corsola and Pukumuku can't stall the match. 180 speed with Jolly Nature means that I outspeed his whole team. I invested 204 attack instead of 252. 204 means that I can. It guarantees Iron Head will OHKO all his fairy types, assuming that Sylveon and Alcremie are specially defensive investment. But if they are physically invested, they would still be OHKO'd if they take some chip damage, particularly a Volt Switch or U-turn from Raichu and Flygon respectively. The rest just put into its bulk. My second Pokemon, I have decided to bring Escavalier with Shell Armor and Leftovers. Escavalier is going to be my main check to Durant and Mimikyu and probably Lapras, but yeah. So I have Iron Head to hit those fairy types. Knock off so I can get rid of items, particularly Eviolite from Galarian Corsola. If Cramorant has Choice Scarf, that's going to be one item I want to get rid of. Leftovers from Pukumuku. Yeah, maybe a Black Sludge from Garbodor. Though I probably wouldn't leave Escavalier on Garbodor with the threat of Flamethrower. Metal Burst ensures that I could hit all his Pokemons for some decent HP or decent damage, sorry, and Substitute to ensure that I don't get any status conditions from Galarian Corsola and Pukumuku. Actually, not so much Pukumuku, but Galarian Corsola. That 84 speed ensures that I outspeed Galarian Corsola with no speed investment. I have 84 into attack with Adamant Nature. This ensures that Iron Head OHKOs all his fairy types. I have 220 in HP and 28 in defense. This means that I can survive even a +1 or even a +1 life orb superpower from Durant. But on top of that, even if it wasn't +1, Metal Burst will OHKO a full HP Durant if it uses superpower. So yeah, that's the boat, and the rest was just put into special defense. I think 92 special defense does mean that Surf from Lapras won't break Substitute. But yeah, it was just whatever I had put into special defense. My third Pokemon is Flygon with Life Orb. This is just my cleaner. It's going to Earthquake just hits everything neutrally except for Cramorant and Garbodor, which hits it for nothing and super effective damage respectively. I have Hone Claws because I think if I can, just to increase my attack and accuracy. Iron Tail because I think that Flygon will attract fairy types, so Iron Tail will hit them hard after I've used Hone Claw. It should OHKO Sylveon and bust the Mimikyu. I think it has a small chance of OHKOing a non-G-Max Alcremie. U-turn's just there to gain momentum. 140 speed with Jolly Nature means that I can outspeed everything except Durant. max attack, and just the rest into bulk. My fourth Pokemon is Golurk, with the No Guard ability and Citrus Berry. Stealth Rock to set up Hazard. It's my so Golurk's my Hazard setter, and another Durant check. Earthquake and Stone Edge hits everything for for super effective or neutral damage. Toxic's just there so that if I do happen to come in on Galarian Corsola or Pukumuku, I can at least Toxic them. 148 speed is there so that if he decides to go for a no speed investment, Adamant, Center Scorch, I should outspeed it. The rest is put into attack. So max attack with Adamant Nature, and the rest is put into bulk. Raichu, I went with Raichu as my fifth Pokemon's with the static ability and Choice Scarf. I gave it Thunderbolt. That's the most powerful, reliable move he has. Nuzzle guarantees I get a paralysis on any Pokemon. Surf, that is just an option so I can hit Center Scorch more reliably than Thunderbolt or Volt Switch. But Volt Switch is probably the main move I'm going to be using with Sylveon and Alcremie on the field. I don't think Thunderbolt can even 3-hit. I think it can't 2-hit KO them Sylveon or Alcremie. So, and they can recover themselves, set up on Raichu. So I think unless they're out, I'm only going to be clicking Volt Switch on Raichu. 164 speed ensures that I outspeed Choice Scarf Cramorant, given that I still have my Choice Scarf. Max attack with Modest Nature for maximum damage. The rest just went into bulk. Yeah, simple. The last Pokemon is Togekiss with Heavy Duty Boots and Soaring Grace. Air Slash with Soaring Grace means that I have a 60% chance of flinching my opponents. The rest, Defog removes hazards, Wish and Protect, so I can just heal myself up or Wish Pass HP to my teammates. 140 speed is there just in case he's not gonna go 0 speed Adamant Center Scorch. Instead, if he goes max speed Adamant Center Scorch, I should be able to outspeed him and air slash his Center Scorch. The rest is, I went max HP so I can maximize the amount of Wish. So maximize the Wish from Togekiss. 76 special defense with, I think it was, that's Calm Nature. That allows me to that ensures that Surf and Hurricane from Cramorant does less than they have to be 4-hit KO at least, and at least even Ice Beam is will be 4-hit KO, I believe. Yeah. So Ice Beam will also be 4-hit KO. Special attack is, and then I just put the rest in special attack. So that's my team. I put so let's actually get to the battle. So here's the battle. Undead, he brought Durant, Cramorant, Sylveon, Gmax Alcremie, Galarian Corsola, and Mimikyu. I'm a bit surprised not to see Lapras, but given how much bulk he has on his team, I can see why he went with Cramorant. I am genuinely surprised why that there's no Center Scorch. I think that Cinderace check would be really useful. But that said, with the absence of Center Scorch and what he has, Cinderace is like the clear lead for my Pokemon. I can Iron Head his fairy types, or Turn Out or Taunt to stop his options. If he does lead with Cramorant or Durant, I would most likely switch because I don't want to get hit by a Choice Scarf, Rock Slide or Surf. So, but he does lead with Mimikyu, so easy first choice. I think U-turn out. That way I can break his disguise and get Escavalier in. But I was expecting him to switch out his Mimikyu, which he didn't. Because I think the value of having disguise at the back, disguised Mimikyu at the back is very key. But yeah, I think he wanted to get the early lead by staying in, most likely Sword Dancing, which he does. So he can probably do big damage before to soften up my team. Unfortunately, like I said, Escavalier is basically built to take whatever Mimikyu's attacks are. I expect a Shadow Claw, but got X-Scissor in instead. I'm not sure if he was trying to catch a Pokemon switch in, but I'm not sure really, because none of my Pokemon are really used to Bug. But an easy Iron Head means that I get a first kill. I get the early lead against his team. So I wasn't sure what Pokemon he was gonna end up. I thought maybe Galarian Corsola or get that Durant in fairly early, but he went with Cramorant, which is not a bad choice. I think given the special attack, I'm going to switch to my Cramorant switch in. I did think whether I should try to use Escavalier to weaken Cramorant, but with Durant still being in the back, I do need Escavalier and Golurk to check Durant. So preserving Escavalier in Barretro's team, putting in Togekiss to take the Surf. So he should do less than 30%, but seeing that critical hit really hurts. I am forced to Wish and then Protect. Ice Beam is going to do about I'd say a third of my HP. It is how I was calculating. And because of that critical hit, I do have to Protect, which is unfortunate. Now, at the same time, now I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna burn up too much turns if I have to keep Wish Protecting against this Cramorant. So after this turn, I do decide that okay, I don't want to burn too many turns. His team is bulky enough. It's gonna be hard to even break through all his team. I need to act quickly and decisively. So I do decide to switch to Escavalier. Because I do have Golurk at the back, at least to take on Durant. He should take him on very early, and that way I can at least still cripple his Cramorant. Well, unfortunately, I get frozen, which sucks. Admittedly, now I have to decide whether I should. At that moment, I thought maybe I can get a quick Thor, but taking that Hurricane sees that yeah, I'm not really built to take on Cramorant easily. But I think there's no point on having a frozen Pokemon now. Might as well just sack Escavalier, get Raichu in, or like get Raichu in safely, and yeah, take out this Cramorant, or at least force a switch. Because besides Galarian Corsola, I don't think any of those Pokemon will take a Volt Switch very well. So I do go for that Volt Switch. And So my luck here actually just gets rid of that Cramorant. Yes, I have to take that Gold Missile, and I do lower my defense, but as of I'm Volt switching out anyway, I don't really mind that. Easily go into Cinderace, it exerts the most pressure on this team. Does mean that if you choose Durant, I kinda know his Choice Scarf. His Fairy types, if you're gonna choose any of his Fairy types, it's gonna be Galarian. Oh no, it's gonna be G-Max or Creamy, but I was expecting Galarian Corsola to come out. So easy Taunt. I don't want Will-O-Wisp or Strength Sap coming out, or even Stealth Rocks. So, and I can easily after this switch Golurk in, Toxic it, and then basically whittle it down. But then he used Whirlpool, which I wasn't expecting, and it does hurt the idea. I just can't switch into Golurk and Toxic because I need Golurk for Durant. I can't afford to let come in Toxic, get trapped in Whirlpool, and just like lose out. Yeah. So I need to think of something. I U-turn so I can avoid getting chip damage, and think, okay, you know what? Maybe I can. I was just thinking it through, and I think I end up going with Togekiss. Because oh no, I'll go with Flygon. Because I knew I had the U-turn option. So I'm not quite sure what move I go here. So I go Earthquake for as much damage as possible. And obviously there's the HP loss. The Whirlpool, I avoided it, but now there's the Taunt. Has worn off, so obviously he's going to go for the Strength Sap. So I got a U-turn out of there, switch to... Now, I made a mistake here. I switched to Togekiss, and now, thinking back, on reflection now, I think I should have switched to Raichu at that point. I think Raichu does have the lower special attack. Oh no, it's physical attack, so Strength Shot wouldn't have healed as much. But at the same time, Raichu does have the Volt Switch option, so yeah. And now I'm realizing, oh crap, Togekiss has no way of getting out of Whirlpool, so I gotta get out. So I switch to Raichu just in case he goes for another Strength Slap or Will-O-Wisp. And he goes for Will-O-Wisp. Luckily I dodged it, but I wasn't really expecting to. I wouldn't have mind getting burnt anyway. So I go for the U-turn, oh no, Volt Switch, back into Cinderace, and I'm just thinking now, I've burnt so many turns now on this Galarian Corsola. I'm running out of options and time. This thing is basically chipping me down without having to do anything. Just doing its own Galarian Corsola things plus Whirlpool. So I had to start weighing whether I have to sacrifice Golurk, and I'm thinking now, look, the fact that he didn't choose Durant earlier, it's most likely he doesn't have a Choice Scarf, I think. So at this point, I'm pretty sure at this point, I decide, look, I need to Toxic this Galarian Corsola, otherwise I'm never going to break this team. So I obviously chose to U-turn and go for Golurk. So I take the Nightshade from, and I choose to Toxic because, well, there's nothing I could do. I'm gonna, Whirlpool has a chance of missing, I believe. So I could be lucky and get the Whirlpool miss, but I was not afforded that. So yeah, Look, now I've got Glaring Course down on timer. There's nothing that much I can do now. My Golurk is trapped. I can't switch out because of Whirlpool. At this point, I go, might as well just set up Stealth Rocks because yeah, set up Stealth Rocks, get that chip. Oh, so when Glaring Course does faint, I can start getting chip damage. I did get hit by a Strength Sap. I don't know whether I could have Earthquake first before doing the Stealth Rock, but really I didn't see any point. He would have fully healed anyway, so and I would still be down. So I'll just start chipping it down. There's not much goes on from now. And it does Will-O-Wisp, which really benefits me more than him at the moment, because now his Strength Saps are really... actually, I'm not sure if Burn halves the attack or halves the damage dealt, but look, I'm already one stage down in attack. Strength Sap's not going to be doing much. I just constantly go for Earthquake so I can just chip it down. I think at this point he realizes his Glaring Corsola is not going to survive much longer and decides to go for the Nightshade and faint my Golurk instead. So now basically well, in terms of score right now we're in even terms, but yeah, I decided to go Flygon. I could have gone Flygon or Raichu, but I think based on the damage, really, I could have gone either. I just went Flygon, used a U-turn to get so that I can get Cinderace in on whatever Pokemon he brings out. There's no point in there's no there's nothing much to it. I just want Cinderace in there so that I can threaten whatever Pokemon, whether it's Durant with Pyro Ball or G-Max Alcremie. I expect the G-Max Alcremie to come on next. It is the Pokemon that can take Cinderace's hit the best. But he does go for Sylveon. Now, this probably suggests that he is going to be maybe Choice Scarf. I don't see why, but I do just go Iron Head. There's nothing that none of Sylveon's stabs can hit me hard unless he has. The only thing I would be afraid of is probably maybe a Shadow Ball. I don't think any of the other stabs, any other coverage moves Sylveon has can hit me hard, so... And I just Oko Sylveon. So, yeah, an easy kill there. Now, obviously, G-Max Alcremie is going to come out next. Now, obviously, I know that Alcremie has Mystical Fire, or it has it in its move pool. I don't know whether he has Mystical Fire at this point, but I decided I'll just go Pyro Ball for the safest play. It was pretty obvious he was going to G-Max in order to preserve his Alcremie. I went Pyro Ball, so therefore if he goes for Max Starfall, I still resist, but at the same time at least I'll be resisting Max Flare as opposed to getting hit with super effective damage. And luckily I did get the burn there, so now it's not going to be halving the damage I get, but at least I'm mitigating its leftovers. So yeah, that leftovers is now basically useless to him. Well, not useless, but at least it's not healing passively. At this point, I'm kind of consider what to do, because from that Pyro Ball, I don't think Ironhead is going to bait it. And now I'm considering he has a choice to either max flare or max starfall. if I decide to Ironhead and he goes for max flare again, I am going to get killed. So I just decided, no, I'll go U-turn, go to Togekiss, especially defensive, so should be able to take a hit. And yeah, so take that hit. I don't know if that was what I was expecting. The damage output I think was a little bit higher than I thought it would be. Though I can't say that Togekiss was the most specially, like really special though. So I decided to protect, mitigate the damage from extra damage. At this point, maybe I should have sacked Togekiss if he could sack it. Just use Wish, and so that way I could feint on that turn, get Cinderace back in, and just Ironhead on a wishing Ironhead on Alcremie and get the Wish support next turn. So that's a mistake on my end. But at this point, I'm like, okay, he's probably expecting the switch. So I think I'll go Air Slash, because if he's expecting the switch, he could switch into Durant, or he might. I thought he might just switch to Durant regardless, but he doesn't, and Alcremie goes for cover. Now that was a mistake again on my end. I think I should have just switched. Actually, no, it wouldn't really matter, because now Alcremie is at a HP that Ironhead is not guaranteed anymore. So I need to chip it down and hope that I can catch. Actually, no. At this point, there's no way to get Cinderace in whilst ensuring that he'd be less than about 70%, 80% HP. So I'll just continue Air Slashing. Now he did go Carmine, so if I did switch at that point, I probably could have won this game outright. But at this stage, 50 seconds left on the timer. I'm 4 Pokemons up. There's no point in me switching now. I'm just gonna Air Slash. If he decides to switch, good. If he decides to switch, I will catch him out. If he decides to attack, at least I can get my Cinderace in and maybe get one attack in. That way I can at least force him to attack instead of doing recover. But I do have the Swing Grace Togekiss, so obviously there is those chances of flinching, and I do get a lot of them. So at the end, the timer runs out, and yeah, with 4 Pokemon left to 2 is 2, that means I do win. There's nothing much he can do it. No, there's nothing he can do at this point. But yeah, a very bulky team. As I said, I knew for a fact that I was unlikely going to break his team. Now I misplayed there. That is on me, really. Then, but yeah, that was an interesting build from Undead. I was not expecting the Cramorant and Sylveon. I don't know what Sylveon had. I thought if he was going to come in on I don't even think he wanted to come in on Cinderace, but if it had max attack, max HP and max defense, he should have been able to survive the Ironhead. But yeah, and also if it was a choice scarfed Cramorant, I think he could have caught me off guard. But yeah, that's the battle. So next week I have my battle against Embrace Assassin, um, and his team, the Southern Snorlax. So I'm looking forward to that matchup. It is, I think, it's a pretty difficult matchup. I have some advantages, and he has, but he does have some very threatening Pokemons that I feel I probably can't easily check. So if you want to see that battle, that'll be up next week. Otherwise, if you want to keep up with that, don't forget you can click subscribe, and hopefully we'll get another win next week. um, until then, see you, and see you next week, and have a nice day.